welcome to the KVJ After the Show podcast.
Kevin's eyes look insane, but he's got new hair. Virginia is a witch, and she farts in her chair. Jason is a spaz who's got an old man's ass. Welcome to the After the Show podcast.
There we go. Hello, and welcome to the KVJ After the Show podcast for Wednesday. Here we go. Not too early to start thinking about the weekend. Weather looks awesome, too. I love this. This time of year might be my favorite time of year in South Florida.
You're right. It looks amazing for the next week or so.
Yeah, it's good. We had November, December, January. The weather wasn't awesome. It is peaking right now, just in time for spring break, kicking out on Saturday. Spring training begins on Saturday with games here in South Florida, and then you've got the golf tournament that hits right after that. There's polo going on. There's just so much great stuff going on. And then Sunfest, and then shortly thereafter, we go downhill and get into the rainy season. But
I tell you what, this son of a bitch over here might have to break out some T-necks. A little turtleneck up in this piece. It's that kind of weather.
You love a turtleneck and a brown vest.
The problem with my turtlenecks that I have right now is they look great from my neck down to my tits. But right when it gets to my belly, it almost gets skinny, the shirt does, and it looks like I got a little Pooh Bear belly. It makes my tits look nice, but it really makes my stomach look horrific. Not my T-neck.
I just always think that a turtleneck makes a man look like a penis.
I love a turtleneck, but I
love a penis.
But do you want to look like a penis?
I don't think it looks penis.
I don't, but I would like Jason to.
You think it looks like a penis?
Kinda.
Oh, man. Now you're going to fucking ruin turtlenecks for me.
My wife, anytime she sees somebody in a turtleneck, she's like, oh, why are you dressed as a dick? It really does. It's burned in my brain now. I don't think I could ever wear a turtleneck. There's no going back.
And you love to wear little goofy hats, so you'll be like a penis wearing a little goofy hat.
I love it.
Yeah, so. And just a heads up, too, it's going to start warming up a bit, so you might be a little warm.
I guess I'm just going to
Yeah, you kind of missed it by 2 days.
All right. According to my sources, it's supposed to be cold for the next 5 to 7 days.
Well, then I think you should wear sweaters and see what happens. You go for it.
Don't let us talk you out of dressing like a penis.
No,
how
go
about
for
this?
it, dog.
Can you guys get me on a weather app that fucking works at least? I feel like I'm always saying it's going to be cold when it's going to be hot.
Here's the thing about the weather. They don't know what's going to be like.
Just look outside.
Look outside.
Yeah,
that's the only way.
That's how I roll.
Until the day, like right before, they really don't know.
I don't know. I feel they've kind of been nailing it, Virginia.
Well, I can tell you this much. Every time I see a turtleneck now, I'm going to be thinking about penis.
Yeah. Once it gets burned in your brain, there's no going back. Yes, it kind of does. Towards the tail end of the regular show, we were talking about Tijuana Flats closing 4 Florida locations, and then we're finding out that, oh my gosh, they're starting to disappear in South Florida as well. I think there's still 14, I think. Now, that was according to the Tijuana Flats website, and I don't know how quickly they're keeping up with the cancellation. Some people have been saying that, the quality's kind of been going down. That's according to some people, but it's one of those places where my wife and we were in a Tijuana Flats kick years ago now, but we were driving, I don't know, it was probably 20, 25 minutes one way just to go to this Tijuana Flats. We loved it that much. I think it's because of all the sauces, and it was just, solid, man.
It was fun.
great.
It was new. It was exciting.
I know this is going to sound weird. They have great ice there. They have great crushed, shaved ice there.
Okay. That is, I don't know if I've ever commented on a place's ice. But,
well, because
okay.
you don't really respect soda or beverages like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I usually will get a craft beer.
Yeah, exactly.
The Hollywood Brewing was on tap there, at least the Palm Beach Lakes location.
That is nice to be able to get a nice craft beer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was just all those kind of things. That's why I liked it. So we were going to the one in Gardens years ago, and then they opened up one on Palm Beach Lakes, and something happened. And it was my wife. It wasn't me, because I'd be like, hey, let's go to Tijuana. She just wasn't ever feeling it. I'm like, I don't know what happened. She fell out of love with it pretty quick, and I couldn't, really get there as much as I wanted to. And now I'm looking at this, man, they're kind of closing down other places. We'd heard about Wellington. It just closed up shop. Royal Palm Wellington, one in 441 Plaza with Blaze Pizza, is still open, but they said the other closed partly from low traffic, partly sanitary issues.
Oh, no.
And Brandon said, I don't think the employees even got a day's notice. Danny said they closed the one on Palm Beach Lakes.
Really?
Wow, that was the one. That was the craziest thing. We were, as soon as they opened, I don't know what it was.
Is the one in Gardens closed too now? Is this getting to be a very...
Don't know. Yeah, that's why I just said. I mean, if you are a fan of it, kind of a heads up. Because it looks like they're starting to shut down all over the place.
And me and Panda went there, the one in Gardens, and the one we went to, they turned it into a Jersey Mike's sub shop. So we're like, oh, fuck. No, it's actually good. Let's go to Jersey Mike's. And we went to Jersey Mike's. I like Jersey Mike's, too.
Okay. It's kind of a weird thing on how that stuff kind of happens.
But anytime you say a restaurant, it's so weird. Some people, for example, I just say Jersey Mike's, and I know I'm going to get some people go, Bird, Jersey Mike's sucks. It's balls. It's awful. It's disgusting. It's just an odd thing that, I mean, don't you like Jersey Mike's?
I do like Jersey Mike's. I think they have a great setup. I like them probably better than most subs.
I wonder what it is that makes people not like something like that, though. Because I was kind of shocked with the whole Tijuana Flats, how many people were dogging it.
Yeah, and hey, look, I mean, it starts to explain itself that, you know, how many places can you think of that you loved once upon a time and they just start falling off a little bit.
Well, sometimes they grow and get big and start franchising, and then the quality control is impossible to maintain.
Scaling any business is tough, and that's what they always talk about. You got to build to scale, so you can't, as you grow, you cannot lose what made you big and the ability to grow in the first place.
I think we all learned this from watching Top Chef. If people are used to having you make something with all of the ingredients, and you even change one ingredient, that could ruin the balance of the universe for you for that meal.
It's true.
Yeah, I saw it happen during COVID when people changed to a cheaper cheese. It changed it on such a level that was disheartening.
It's those subtle things. And look, this has been really a tough time since the pandemic for a lot of restaurants for two reasons. One is shipping chain issues, costs of supplies, and employees. And those three things have wrecked a lot of... You could go back pre-pandemic, and there are a lot of places you would say would get A's that are probably now getting a letter grade C or lower. And they're starting to close. Tijuana Flats might be one of those.
I always get bummed out when I hear the word larva involved in one of these
It's not a good word with restaurants.
I don't want larva with my rice, with my...
Not a good word.
Larva-free.
Please?
Please.
Because I feel like that's so bad. Larva, you've let shit get away from you. I get how you can have a fly in there, a roach every now and then. Larva?
That means you didn't give a shit about keeping quality control and keeping things from growing on your old meat.
I mean, it's Florida. You're going to get little critters here and there. I don't know about larva, dog.
Yeah, it's tough. You know, one person commented in the chat, Ryan said, you know, employees can't afford to live here, so they quit and move. And yeah, that is part of it. You know, you do have those issues that are going on. You know, some of it also is just the times. I think a generational thing. I was reading something that kind of speaks to this as well. They say 93% of Gen Zers said that they have flaked out on a job interview. That's a crazy high number. Did you ever once have a job interview scheduled and you just didn't show up?
Never.
I can't think of one time in my life that ever happened. 87% of Gen Zers have been offered a job that they didn't show up for. That's almost 9 out of 10. You go through the interview process, the applications, everything. You're hired. You start on Monday, and it comes Monday, you're like, fuck it.
Their anxiety.
I don't know if that's it. They said that they do it because it makes them feel like they are in charge of their career.
But not in charge of their rent.
I remember one time I was walking to a job interview and a bird shit on me on the way
Good luck.
to the interview.
Yep.
I had to go find a way to clean myself up, which I did. I was so sad. I think I was crying. I still went to the job interview. I didn't get the job, but
Oh, maybe not
like,
good luck.
They go, we're gonna hire her, but she smelled like bird shit. We can't have someone smelling that bad in this place.
I was so sad. I was having a rough week.
I think I'm a maniac in job interviews.
Another thing going on with some of the restaurants, we'd heard this. I saw next door, place was getting called out because they thought that their credit card fee was a little higher than the percent average by maybe just a small percent or something like that. But I think some people are really looking at their tabs, especially when they pay by credit card, to say, okay, what are all these fees? And I remember telling you that I went to a pizza place we still go to, and I think they had it. It was weird. It was like it basically was an ambiance fee, and it's not that amazing. It's not on the water. It's nothing like that. It's in a strip mall.
Yeah, ambiance fee is really a weird name.
I think it was like a local diners fee. Maybe that's what it was. Local diners fee. It was just something that was like, wait, what?
I went to a place, remember I was up in Tallahassee visiting Magnolia, and we went to a lunch spot, and there was a way big problem, shortage with staff. There was one waitress who was basically working 12 tables. I felt so bad for her, so we did leave her a big tip. But I looked on the bill and it said security fee, $3.99. And there wasn't a bouncer or security person in sight. There was barely a guy bussing the tables.
Maybe they
Wow.
meant security just on their emotions. Security fee,
Yeah.
$3. They feel good. They feel secure.
$3.99 here, $3.99 there.
Yeah.
I mean, that does add up.
Yeah, that's kind of what it is.
Didn't you say earlier that you would know if you, on some of your receipts if they were overcharged? Because I'm the same way. I don't look at everything with all this detail.
I really don't. I don't pay that much attention to it.
I just look at the total.
The Queen
too.
does.
I look to see that they haven't added the tip already, because I'm usually in a big party, and sometimes that they'll add the tip already. If they haven't added the tip already, I never really look at the other like tax and all that. Like, ugh.
I got a weird thing. I know I'm not normal in this. A lot of times I don't pay attention to how much it is at all because seeing the charge gives me anxiety. And the one thing I love is going out for food and drinks. And if that gives me anxiety, then I'm just fucked.
Do you ever get a bill and just put your card down and not look at the total? And
Yes.
Kevin, I've done that too because I know what you're talking about.
It's weird. It's crazy because if I really start thinking about it, I'm like going, I can't do this. I can't justify this.
You just go.
Numbers stress you out.
Yeah, they do. I get
totally know what
stressed
you mean
from
by
it,
that.
and I'm like, I don't want to know. I just don't want to know because I've got few enjoyments in life. There are few things that give me pleasure, and I'm not going to ruin this. It's just whatever it is what it is.
I don't do it at restaurants, but I'll do it for Uber Eats. Because
Okay.
I'll go,
Yeah,
you know
I can
what?
see that.
Don't even
Yeah.
look. Just hit send and fuck it. Just, pizza's on the way.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
I know the Queen has it, and that's where I just that's the one thing I love about being with a partner is that I know she's got this, she's on it. To me, it gives me anxiety, and I don't want to see it. I don't want to know. Just all right.
What a bunch of little bitches we are.
Because she will tell me if it's like, hey, we can't be eating out so much or we can't be doing this. I'll be like, okay, all right, that's fine. So, yeah, if I see it, I'd be like, oh my gosh, that was $25. What am I doing?
I know.
I can't justify that.
I threw on some extra cheese sticks, and I knew they were like $9 ago. I'm not going to even just
Yeah.
send.
Yeah. I know it's not responsible, but man, I just gotta relieve myself. of
Your
that.
your self-preservation skills are on point.
That's what it is.
Sometimes it's more important to preserve self than to be involved and informed.
It's a mental health thing that I do.
I
that
get
I'm like,
it.
I'm going to spare myself from. I obsess about everything in life. I'm gonna just take a break from one thing.
Don't look at the number and have another tequila.
That's what I'll do.
That's
That's
what-
exactly what I'll do.
See, I almost did that, but I did another whiskey, not tequila.
You had a cup. We got him a cup of whiskey.
That's so funny. You do two weird things that I do, and I know what you mean by.
Yeah, you
when-
do.
when-
If you
when
relate, I think some of us have the same odd quirks. I get it. It's not normal. But it's just that's what I do, and that's why I do it.
And you say mental health. Everyone's fucked mentally. I don't care what anybody says. Everyone on this planet has got something not jiving with their brain.
Well, you think about when you go through the course of the day, there are things that they're a withdrawal. They're a ding. They don't give you positive emotions. Everybody has it. Through the course of your day, something will happen. You get flipped off in traffic. All these kind of things are negatives. I just know with this job, there's so many things I have to go through the course of the day. It's like, you kind of get knocked around a little bit. You're like,
there's always a cactus to hug.
There's always someone in the wings waiting to kick you in the dick.
There's always some kind of a cactus you got to go through.
There is, and I just know I'm going to have a lot of those. So I'm like, when I get down the path of enjoyment, that's kind of the, what I would call the deposits, I'm not going to look at the deposits. I just know that, okay, I need some positives into my mental health bank here.
You just laid it all out so nicely. It makes me want to just go ahead and order something, not even fucking look, and just hit send.
I think you got to have your own little things. Those are my positives.
Especially if you have a stressed out week.
Yes, I'm replenishing my mental health. And if I attached a negative to the thing that is rehabbing my mental health, I'm not going to replenish my mental health.
Self-care, Kev.
That's it.
Well, that's why when people say they're going to binge watch something, but they feel guilty about it, if you're going to binge watch, just binge watch and go in there and do it.
Enjoy it.
Yes, if you're going to do it, do it.
Don't do it every day of your life and never leave your house for 3 months. But you got to have some balance. If you go and you work hard and you play hard and then you want to lay hard, lay.
Well, there's nothing worse than trying to relax with a side order of guilt mixed in. Because you can't really relax.
It's very human-y to make yourself feel guilty about laying around the house for just one day. But you need to release that guilt and enjoy that day of just pampering yourself and not putting on any real clothes.
If you're going to do it, do it.
I love that.
Go full gorilla.
Yeah. Emma was talking about the DoorDash tipping that we were on the other day, and she had shown what her last order looked like with a subtotal of $90, a transaction fee of $264, sales tax at $637, delivery fee at basically $10, $20 tip. Yeah, it's $129 when it comes down to it. But yeah, you look at that. Those are the little things: delivery fees, transaction fee. Yeah, that's just kind of the weird thing. Did we always have transaction fees, or is that a relatively new thing?
It's a new thing. I think back when they first started, they were much smaller, and the merchant would absorb them a lot of times as the cost of doing business. But now the merchant fees have gotten so extravagant that the merchant's like, okay, my costs have gone up, and now they're charging more for these merchant fees to use a credit card through their system. I can't eat everything. I've got to pass this on to the consumer.
And then something happened where the food delivery and then the restaurants, they kind of started turning on each other. No, that motherfucker messed up your order. No, that motherfucker messed up.
Oh, there's no accountability.
There's no accountability.
It's the perfect system to finger point.
Well, you call the restaurant, oh, that's your Uber Eats. You have to talk to your Uber Eats. You call your Uber Eats, oh, it's the fucking restaurant, man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And you'll never get the truth. There's no way to figure out who it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and some people go, well, why don't you just go out and go get your food?
Because I'm drunk.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's exactly.
I'm trying to not drunk and drive over here.
That's what I'm Uber Eat, because I got a couple drinks in my system.
I'm cleaning the house. I'm dancing around in my underwear. And yeah, I got a few pops in me.
And you know what, damn it, that's part of that thing I'm not going to feel guilty about.
Yeah. Zach was taking a look at the streaming services, and he said, yeah, we pretty much knocked down just to the Hulu and Netflix, and even then, Netflix is on the chopping block, figuring out how much we actually watch it and enjoy it. He said, I do find myself paying for the YouTube TV, primary way of watching television. Get a lot of classics, plus the sports stuff I want, the NFL Red Zone, and watching the Dolphins here and there. So, that's kind of what they're doing. He said Pluto TV, too, has got the free ad-supported television. A lot of fast channels on that where it's kind of like an old cable type thing where you're watching commercials and you cannot fast forward. And a lot of those.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he said, you can get the NCIS's, Cheers, Price is Right, that kind of stuff is on there. So.
Oh, shit, the Price is Right.
Oh, I know. Yeah. So, some people are finding their way through them. But, yeah, you're talking today about that added Amazon fee they got a lawsuit about where It's kind of a bait and switch. They got us into these things. You're paying what you thought it was, and now they want more money for you to watch for a service you thought you were already paying for. That don't seem cool.
When you said that earlier, that it kind of sounded familiar. And then I tried to order a movie on Amazon Prime, and I thought I already paid for all that shit by being on Amazon Prime.
I know I do because I've seen the charges come across for Amazon Prime, and I get stuff in the mail and it says Prime on the box. I know I pay for it, and sure enough, Rocco went to go watch a movie, and it was only $2.99 that they wanted, but I'm like, wait. $2.99? I already pay for this service.
Do you ever get
tricky bitches?
Do you ever get false Amazon Prime excitement? We go, oh shit, Amazon Prime truck is right here. I ordered something.
It's for your neighbor. Yeah.
Damn, my pizza shoes ain't in yet.
The neighbors I hate always are getting something Amazon, and Rocco gets so excited. He thinks it's for us. He gets all ginned up and dancing around, and then they go to the neighbor's door, and he's so sad.
I mean, they'll ship $3.99 stuff from Amazon Prime, and they'll drop it right. I mean, I can't believe
same day.
It really is weird how quick it is.
In a sense, and what happens with a lot of these things, we're getting spoiled.
We are.
They're drawing us in. It's becoming the fabric of our lives, and then all of a sudden they whammo hit you with, wait, what? How much am I paying for this now? And then you're like, but I can't go back. My life has changed.
On-demand culture turns people into assholes.
Well, we just become spoiled.
Yeah, you turn into an asshole.
And you
not
think,
you specifically, Kevin.
I hear
as a
Kevin,
people.
you're an asshole.
No, I have. Ever since delivery happened, I've turned into a raging dick.
Oh, all of a sudden, you're yeah, it's
Yeah.
tech rage is real with me.
But then you got that weird thing where the game we always play now, what you ordered and what you got. You said one of your friends, Virginia, got some Victoria's Secret panties, and she could tell they were knockoff because the leg holes didn't fit right.
So I've got them right here. She didn't wear them. She gave them to me, and she said they showed up, and they look like Victoria's Secret, right?
Yeah.
They look legit. But she said she went to go put them on, and the leg hole is too small. And then she started looking at it, and like the way the font is written, where it says Victoria's Secret, it's like all crooked.
It's Victor's Secret.
And then she realized, oh my gosh, they're not even cut straight in a line. The line's like curvy. She bought fake Victoria's Secret off of an Instagram ad that looked legit.
Wow.
It looked like a Victoria's Secret
Yeah.
clearance house. And she was like, wow, $2 for a pair of panties. I'll buy it. And then they showed up, and she's like, wait a minute.
That looks like some Walmart shit right there.
You want these?
I know who would. Girl named Lana.
I'd like to see Lana rock those, actually. Just know, the leg hole be tight.
Do you think I can fit into those? Is there any way?
Try it. Try it.
You could. It's going to look amazing, too.
It's going to look hot.
I can't try. My balls and dong will hang out of that.
Awesome.
Where's the problem?
Well, at least my balls will.
Yeah, with Netflix, yeah, to me, it's paying for itself right now because Suits is a solid show. I can see why it was the #1 streaming show, according to Nielsen, last year. 53 billion minutes, I think it was.
What do you
People
like
streamed
better?
that.
Suits the show or Suits the man?
Oh, the man, of course.
Oh, okay. All right,
He
good.
paused for a second.
He had to think about it.
Just know that Suits.
Well, the funny thing was I was talking to my family the other day, and I said to them, I'm like going, they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm just sitting here watching Suits. And my son was like going, what's he doing there?
I'm just watching.
He's sitting in a chair jerking off.
He's just sitting here. Yeah.
He's tossing off again.
He's tossing off and petting his cat, and I'm just watching.
What's Suits doing there, Dad?
Suits, I would, by the way, I'd watch that. If you were tossing off and petting
he
your
was kind of
cat.
upset. He's like, wait, what?
Dad,
What's
you
he
guys
doing
too
there?
fucking weird, man.
I leave town, and this is what you do?
Well, I'm picturing Suits. I'm just picturing you just looking at Suits as he on your couch.
I'm just sitting there, I have a
tossing off.
cocktail, and I'm just watching him. He's got a cat in one hand, his dog in the other.
Oh, man.
It's just how I spend a Saturday now.
People would pay for that content, Suits.
Amanda said, yeah, I was listening to the ATS on my way home about watching full seasons on streaming services. And a heads up for Kev about Suits last night. I was watching season 8 on Netflix. And when I was done with the last episode, that was it. I Googled, I found out season 9 is actually on Amazon Prime. So I want to give you a heads up. See, that's the thing with these apps, man. And this is where they're getting you. And you're wondering why I have all these apps and it's turned into a clusterfuck and I'm spending all this money. It's because these are the strategies that they're doing now. They're scattering shows and seasons on different apps and different things. And I almost feel like there's some kind of conspiracy into it. And I think things are going to start getting ugly before they get better. In fact, I saw you talk about all this bundling and the things that they're doing, these possible conspiracies. Today, there's a story. Fubo TV is now suing Disney, Fox, and Warner Brothers over their joint sports venture, saying it's going to create extreme suppression of competition. Oh. And so there seems to be some kind of talks in collusion behind the scenes. Because when the heck would ESPN, which is Disney, and Fox ever get together? They're the two big competitors now for college football broadcasting. And now they're going to join together. You're like, what? That doesn't make sense. Why are they coming together? So, yeah, these are the kind of things they're doing. And ultimately, I think the consumer are silently getting screwed, and I think it's going to get worse. They don't start winning some of these cases.
They don't care.
I know they don't.
They're just not trying to hide it anymore. Now they're just blatantly screwing you.
Well, and that's just it. Hopefully they'll lose some of these cases as they come up, and hopefully people will sue and say, no, we see what you're doing, man.
Which does feel more insulting, by the way. Getting screwed and not giving a fuck is it really is. I'd prefer if you went behind my back and screwed me.
You like it from the rear?
On that stuff, yeah.
From watching Suits to giving Suits something to watch, Cesar thinks that he would like Mannequin.
There's no fucking way.
I saw this. I'm like, dude, this is exactly the textbook of what Suits hates. An 80s comedy.
And that's why
is unbelievable. It's a guy that winds up banging a mannequin.
Which is hot.
That comes to life, but only he can see it. Yeah, Suits he might give it a 12.
I love cheesy, shitty comedies.
And you love the idea of banging a mannequin that comes to life.
All of it checks my boxes, but there's no way. I mean, I like it, but it is corny as fuck. That movie is really cheesy.
Yeah.
Banger soundtrack though.
Oh yeah,
it's got a great soundtrack.
What's it got on it?
Starship.
Nothing's gonna stop us now.
It's a great
I
song.
think that's all they got, but it's still that song alone makes it a banger soundtrack.
They got one song. We were talking about celebrities that come off a bit shady. Who do you think is a bit shady? And this isn't somebody that's been canceled or necessarily exposed, but you just think behind the scenes, man, they've got some maniacal things. And The Rock came up, and Daniel said the past 3 weeks, it's been a little interesting, The Rock, and I think he's coming off a bit shady. He just became a board member of TKO. That's the whole wrestling thing. He just went back in there, and he's got this partnership name with the UFC also. And WWE, he got it all on the same day with the whole Vince McMahon. Sorry, there's too many McMahons out there.
Yeah,
with
Jim will not like that you get mixed up with Vince.
With the whole Vince McMahon situation, who we do know is shady. And he said it was just kind of interesting how it all came. He was just conveniently there to pick up the scraps of what was dropped off when Vince McMahon had to walk away. Then he gets to WrestleMania. So I don't know. Apparently there's a little bit of a backlash now, in which he became a heel now to fix things and make WWE interesting. So maybe some people in that circle think that there's some shady dealings going on there.
So people are going back and taking old clips of some wrestling shit. And throughout the years, Vince McMahon's had some crazy storylines. Well, there's this one storyline where Stephanie McMahon, his daughter, she's yelling at him in the ring. She goes, she's either in the ring or the locker room, but she's yelling at her dad. She goes, you made me do so many things when I was 17, and I didn't want to do that. Like, it was a clip from the script. It's a real part of the show.
Yeah.
But people are taking that going, he was leaking it out in his content. Look at this shit. I think he's going down this time.
Really?
You do.
Oh, man, there's a lot of shit around him.
Yeah.
That's a little bit different than before.
They finally got him?
Look, they've tried to get him over and over again. It's just, I can tell this one seems a little bit different to me.
Huh.
Yeah, it does seem like this one's got a little bit more heat behind it, so I do agree with you on that.
It depends on what you can prove. You can say someone's done something, and that's that's always been the case with him. And I think they've even proven he's done some shit, and he still has gotten out of
So
it.
weaseled out.
Yeah. There's rumors that he might have mafia ties.
Oh, okay.
Okay, it all makes sense.
I guess the mafia still is around.
Oh yeah, no doubt they do. The mafia now is probably gonna be loving life because I think they're doing about what they've always done, but now it's all cartel talk and Russian mob and other things like that. That at least your Italian mob, I think, is like, yeah, it's kind of cool. I think they like flying under the radar.
Yeah,
Usually means
forget
less
about
attention for them. Yeah.
You don't want the attention in the mafia, Virginia.
No, the one thing about it is if people's going around saying they're in the mafia, then they're not in the mafia.
They're not in the mafia. 'Cause I don't think you can go around saying you're in the mafia.
No.
So you get clipped.
Somebody had said too, Beyonce seems a little shady. Now I don't know if anybody thinks there's anything going on here with her manipulation with the country thing, but Samantha did say, I was just thinking about the Beyonce country album coming out, and also there's a Taylor Swift album that's coming out. How much of an FU would that be to everybody, including Kanye, if those two did a country music collaboration? There's talk that realistically will happen. I would not be surprised. She said, I think Beyonce and Miley doing Jolene would be amazing too. Yeah, they are. I think that's already in the works. Dolly's going to be a part of that song. Interesting what you guys think about a Beyonce and Taylor collab, because that would take both of them to an even higher place in music, I think. I love it. I think it's fantastic. I think everything you just wrote in there, Samantha, is actually going to happen.
I love collaborations. And even if it's not for me, I just like the idea of people getting together and jamming out and doing something cool.
It's fun.
Yeah.
For me, I like that.
I think that the lines are starting to blend a lot more together with so many of the genres of music that are out there, from country to R&B to rap and alternative and pop and dance and all that. I mean, you hear elements now in all those songs. Country has radically changed over the last couple of years. A lot of people don't love it. They think it's a little too poppy. Because they do have a lot of collaborations now with EDM artists and country stars. And so it's kind of a dance country song. There's a good bit of that is coming out. And yeah, to have more diversity in the format, I think is great. I think it's welcome. I think a lot of, especially the younger country fans, definitely are there for it. They would love to have it happen. And you're slowly starting to get more diversity in country, which is needed. So
Now, old country fans.
Yeah, I saw there's a show when I was a little kid. It's called the Dukes of Hazzard, and a guy on there named John Schneider. I think he was Bo Duke. He's not a fan of the whole Beyonce thing going over into country, and I don't know if it's anything racial. I think some of the older country fans, they want to preserve the sound and the feel. To me, I think the one essence that country has that they pride themselves on is its music with stories in it. I think that's where the authenticity, they sometimes don't like when they do get too pop. You notice a lot of pop music, there's not much of a story to it. It's pretty shallow.
Shake my ass. Let's get fucked up. We live young, we're going to die.
I think some country fans are a little, kind of like how people in South Florida are worried about overdevelopment. I think some diehard classic country fans are worried about they're going to start losing the great storytelling that happens in the format.
The other thing, too, is this is, believe it or not an old thing in country. Garth Brooks wasn't welcomed with open arms with the old traditional country people.
Oh, yeah, every generation it happens.
Not everyone liked Garth.
Hank Williams Jr. sang about how, the old guard didn't like when he came in because, oh, Hank, why do you drink? Why do you smoke? And that was something country didn't like. You were behaved, you were buttoned up, you didn't smoke, drink, all that kind of stuff. You didn't swear.
I just feel like, the one thing you got to realize is things are going to change. You're going to think they're changing, but if you really look at it, it's
evolution.
It's the same thing, though.
Yeah.
It's always it's changing, but it's the same.
It's evolution. You can't stop it. It's always going to happen. Got Christy here. You're talking a little bit about giving a plush toy to a 9-year-old kid at school. Will that cause any kind of problems? The teachers had said, yeah, if you do it before or after class, you'll be all right. Christy, who's a 3rd grade teacher, said, yeah, the only thing, though, what you do for one, you got to do for all. That's why I think you need to do it discreetly. Kelly said, from the perspective of a teacher, we encourage kids to hand out things after school during recess so other students don't feel left out. So be careful of that. So let your kid know as they give the toy out that that's how it should happen. And we also do encourage students to tell us when they do feel uncomfortable. So if the girl does feel uncomfortable, we might have to say, look, hey, it's a little too much for this kid.
Give her the toy.
It's unwanted.
Don't be creepy about it.
Yeah.
Crushes are weird, man. Whether you have the crush or you're getting the energy from somebody who has the crush. You ever have someone crushing on you and you are not feeling them and they were a little overbearing?
Yeah.
That gets a little uncomfortable.
It's so awkward.
It really is. And then they try to make you feel guilty.
Yep. And I was talking about how my son took a good 30 minutes to get into school yesterday with the metal detectors. So, he's always struggled being on time when they didn't have them. 5 entrances narrowed down to 2 at his school. And Jenna said, the shitty thing about the metal detectors is they seem to be putting them in the wrong schools. My son goes to Santa Lucius, and there has been 3 pairs of brass knuckles used in fights this year, 1 can of pepper spray, and a knife. Still none there, but I will say they do make a difference. I used to have them in East St. Louis at our elementary school, and it did wonders there. So, yeah, but, every school's going to get them. I don't know if there's any rhyme or reason as to the schools that are putting them in what order. And the further they go, I think they're thinking less of it. I think the first 4 were strategically done, but I'm not sure, where they are with it now.
It's probably going to have to be all of them eventually.
It is, yeah. All 24 by the end of the year are going to have them. All 24 high schools in Palm Beach County. And then, like I said, Broward County is eyeballing it to consider doing it in all their schools as well. It's just probably where we're going now. I just want to see if they're effective or not.
There's only 24 high schools in Palm Beach County. What a stat. I never knew.
Yeah.
That I'll never remember.
Yeah. You'll forget that in 5 minutes.
Quiz me tomorrow and see if I remember.
What? No, 300.
If you would have said how many schools are in, I would have said...
High schools, yeah.
I said probably 87.
Yeah. 24 right now. Yeah, just got a new one this year. And we were also talking about was it the measles? Is that what it was that was in that elementary school in Broward? I saw they're up to 6 cases now.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, and we were asking about if you're immunized from the measles and rubella, how long does it last? And thank you to Patrick. He said lifetime from the CDC. Yeah, so usually considered protected for life if you got that as a kid.
Whoever came up with that vaccine... You wonder, did they make a lot of money from that? Or did they just get good job, Kevin, Dr. Kevin. Now get the fuck out. You know what I mean? To me, that's a big deal. We should know who.
It is. No, I remember.
Do you know the name of who invented that? I don't.
Well, yeah, you look at some of the ones, the person who invented the polio vaccine and pasteurized milk and... things like that through...
Louis Pasteur.
Right, yes.
Oh, I know that because pasteurization is a very important part of beer.
Yeah.
You're right. There are some people we should celebrate their names more. The inventor of the air condition. Everyone should know
He
that
has his own
name.
statue in the Florida State House.
Yeah, but no one knows who that fucker is. We should have a day for him.
Yeah, probably a little bit more. Yeah, Jonas Salk was the one who did the polio vaccine.
Okay, I know that name.
Okay, yeah, that's why, because of the polio vaccine. And, so, people that should be.
You're getting a vaccine that knocks it out for a lifetime that was killing motherfuckers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we should know your name.
We should throw you a party, Louis Pasteur.
Right.
Yeah. It says Willis Carrier was the first modern air conditioning system. I don't think that's the guy who has the statue in the State House, but that happened in 1902. Have you heard Carrier for AC?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so too. It came from
It's a brand.
Came from the guy that invented the first one.
Look at that.
How about that? Always learning stuff on this show, right?
We really do.
Mm-hmm. And we also had a PSA earlier on the show. Because, look, you got spring break that's going to kick off on Saturday. You may have friends that are coming down. They're going to go out to the beach. Probably just goes without saying. Unfortunately, a child lost their life yesterday at Lauderdale by the Sea, digging a big old hole in the sand, and it caved back in on 2 kids. One made it out. One did not. And Jason said, along with your warning about digging in the sand, we also need to remind people about rip currents. Our lifeguards pulled a dad and his 2 daughters out of a rip current yesterday. Unfortunately, the dad didn't make it. So, yeah, look, it's beautiful right now, right? When you go out to the beach, you'd walk out there and be like, oh, my gosh, this is just nothing but God's glory all around us, and you don't, you're thinking the only danger is probably a shark, which is probably the least of your worries. It's weird things like rip currents and sand falling in on you.
I think we also have to accept the fact that when we go in the water, we've been swimming around sharks the whole fucking time. The whole time we've had sharks around us, more than we thought we did.
We had sharks. We didn't have drones, but now we know.
That's just it. We didn't have drones back in the day.
Yeah,
there's
right.
sharks around here.
Oh, I know, yeah.
These drones make it go, holy shit, there was always sharks.
There's a shark right behind me.
Yeah,
Damn it.
I saw we had a great white off the coast of Boynton Beach.
Ugh.
Big old one.
I saw, I don't know what shark it was, but there was people on the shore, and the shark is swimming up and jumps onto the beach, beaches itself, and then swims back into the water when the wave comes around.
Yeah.
When sharks start jumping out of the water to bite you or to scare you,
I mean, he is a stunting shark.
that is, I did appreciate the effort.
That is A for effort.
And then I'm going, is this real? Shit, everything's all.
Maybe it's a
I
robot.
don't know.
My daughter sent me a video. Somebody had a pretty good concept because they know spring break's going to get going. And they had this video. Sharks just going nuts, man. It looked like 100 sharks. And they're going, look out, man. The waters of Key West totally infested right now. And then I looked in the comments. Somebody's like, they just baited the water, motherfuckers. So they baited the water with chum, and the sharks are going crazy. Like going, gosh, this is what's going like. And so people up north who are coming down have no idea.
Right.
They think that's what it looks like. You're walking down the beach, and that's what the sharks look like in the waters of Key West.
You're right. People look
But
at
it got numbers.
people that live in Florida. They look at Florida.
Yeah.
How we don't live in New York, so all we
Right.
see are reports. I'm thinking there's always Mohawk gangs and all
Right.
kind of stuff.
Yeah,
going
you
on,
don't
and
know. We
I don't
ask
know.
about, hey, look, I see the news, and it seems like there's people that cross the border illegally that's just mugging people right and left in New York, and is that legit or not? So yeah, that's why we're trying to get the word out. If somebody's up north and they're coming down here, here are some things to know. And Nate, just on the thing about the rip currents, don't fight it. Swim parallel to the shore. You just got to kind of relax. It's what happens is they pull you out, you start fighting them, you freak out, and you tire yourself out, and then it takes you under.
Me and Virginia both almost died from the rip current. It
Yep.
almost took us out.
They're
I got
terrifying.
stuck in one real bad. I would say, if you're bringing your kids to the beach, make them wear life vests. I don't care if they think it looks dorky. Make them wear a life vest if they're going in the water.
Yeah, kids will be real cool about that.
Sorry.
Even if they don't go in the water, make them wear a life vest.
On the sand.
Yeah. Let me see a couple other closing comments here. Somebody said, isn't Swift on one of Beyonce's new songs? It's not been released yet. I don't know. It might be. I have heard little rumblings that they've got a collaboration coming up. Who gets top credit on that? I don't know. Another person on the country music, they want to preserve the color. Country fans support racism talk. I think I'm sure there is, some stuff that is in there with some fans, unfortunately. Look, I mean, racism, it still does exist in some people. I don't think that's a shock to anybody. So hopefully it's getting better. They said, so if there's a collaboration with Beyonce and Taylor, why is Beyonce shady?
I don't get the whole Beyonce shady because she's doing country music. That's what I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't understand that either. The only thing I can think is that maybe some people thought that you are treading into a genre you think is easy to get a hit in because there's not a lot of quality artists, and they're defending it saying, no, we got a lot of really great musicians and it's a lot harder to get a country hit than you would think. That's the only thing I could think, and that has nothing to do with the color of anybody's skin or anything like that. It's just a preservation of what we do and how we do it.
But I mean, I don't know the answer, but I do know that people just want to fight, though.
They do, yeah, and people do, yeah, sometimes get a little too, upset when there's nothing there to fight.
Everything's
and
an
they make
argument.
something out of nothing.
Everything's
Yeah,
an argument.
I hear
It's
you.
Country bar brawl.
Yeah, but
And everything's a country ball, bro.
so far it seems really good. So I'm encouraging it, and I hope that we get there because I think it's good for the format for everybody else. Love to see people jumping into country and doing a couple hits and making it a part of their sound.
And to piggyback kind of on this conversation, check out that Chris Gaines album Garth Brooks did back in the 90s.
Just don't look at the cover.
It is weird, but that's an underrated album. It's
Okay.
probably, although he's a dick face when it comes to his music, you can't find anything Garth unless you buy it through
Yeah.
the Garth verse.
Well, today it was hard to find that we did Friends in Low Places, and that's why that's coming up. It was in the 2-second tunes. And yeah, you go onto regular Apple Music, and they're not for sale.
Garth is a
Wow.
dick. He's almost. I don't know who's bigger dicks, the Eagles or Garth, when it comes to their music.
Yeah, and they're starting that Eagles trial today on the handwritten notes for Hotel California. There were 3 guys that apparently stole them. And so, yeah, they're kind of causing a little issue, and they're going to have a big trial about it.
That'll be interesting to see
Yeah.
who they say. Did the guys steal them or did they come across them?
Henley's got a bunch of cases he's got to be worried
He's
about.
very busy.
He does.
He's a busy dude.
And if you'd like to go see him in person and call him Dick Faces, they're going to be at the Hard Rock Live here in South Florida on March 1st and 2nd.
Love his music. I think he's an amazing musician. I think he's a dick face.
Don't love your music, think you're a dick face. All right, thanks for all the feedback and emails. Always appreciate it. Send them to us, mail@kvjshow.com. Y'all have a great Wednesday. See you back here tomorrow. Goodbye.